Why, hello, you beautiful mutants. It's me, Joel Clark here, proprietor of the Mushroom Press, publisher of Lone Wolf Fists. I have a, jeez, I have an actual copy of the proof they sent me. Let me go fetch it real quick. There we go. I was picking through it today. There we go. It's lovely hardback. You can see the yellow on the spine and the back there. That's my writing. Thank you. Yeah, so the whole thing actually looks really nicely. Um, Generally, I'm pretty happy with it. I was going for kind of a pulpier look in general, so I think that the aesthetic works pretty well. You can see the layout looks really nice too. The art came out looking quite nice. You can see there. Um, some of it's not exactly perfectly formatted, but for the most part, it looks really lovely. There were a couple of minor things I wanted to update with it. Nothing that would have really prevented it from um, being usable as a game manual, but some things like this wasn't formatted right, so you can see it's cutting off on the top there. Some things like that just made it look a little bit too sloppy. These also have the underlines, which it makes that a strain on the eyes. This page also is way too close to the top. And you probably can't see them, but the page numbers came out extremely tiny. Oops. Um, but yeah, a bunch of little things like that. Enough that I wanted to make sure I was ordering another proof after correcting them. So that's now on its way. I expedited that. It should be here this week, probably Thursday, Friday. And after briefly reviewing that, I'm going to go ahead and start sending out backer copies. So if you need to change your mailing address, that is something that I made sure to enable on Kickstarter. Go ahead and get it changed. Otherwise, you're going to get your hardback here in the not too distant future. I'm also doing I'm putting together some advertising for a little advertisement blitz whenever it goes on sale as a hardback. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I guess at this point I've committed to making a GM screen for it. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it, but having the hardback in my hands and getting really eager to run it, I realized that like a nice GM screen with some beautiful art and some nice reference on the inside would be absolutely lovely. Um, so that's gonna be the next little project. I've also got Blood from God's Eye coming down the pike. I'm just rewriting and reformatting that one right now. I've gotten past the rules section of that, and I'm going into right now. I'm diving into the NPC templates and the area descriptions, which there are a lot of. So I like the map the way it stands. I'm not going to alter the map, but I am going to rewrite those area descriptions so they're a little more robust and usable. Um, and of course, I'm going to update all the different templates in there with the latest version of the mechanics. I went ahead and um, did the thing that you really should do in quick starts, where I gave the bad guys powers that exist in the actual game, but I gave them sort of simplified versions of those powers that would fit in like a single sentence or a very, very brief paragraph so that they're part of their little entry. So the presentation on that should be really good. You should be able to open a page and have the description and all the stats of a given NPC either all on that page or on that page and exclusively on the next page. So it shouldn't be too cluttered. It should be pretty easy to flip to a given template and use it right away. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, little quality of life things like that. Same thing with the character sheets, the pre-made character sheets. I'm going to update those so they're a little more usable. Right now, the information is spread out in kind of this awkward way, and I want to make it a little cleaner so players can just have a version of the character sheet. And I will probably make those printable individually as well. Just release them as PDF. I might even do a little character sheet binder or something like that for them, just in case people want to order them directly from DriveThruRPG. But I think for the most part, if you are playing a modern RPG, you probably have access to a printer, so you can actually get these things. I don't know. I guess I'll think about that for a little bit. The cats are very sad that their mama is taking a shower. So I'm getting to hear them sing, "Hey guys, it's gonna be okay. She'll be out in a minute." They respond to that, as you'll note, quiet. They'll be back at it in a few minutes, but as soon as you are clearly talking to them, they're like, "Oh, the human is speaking. Is this food time?" So, yes, I'm very excited. I'm also a little bit tired. I've had a weird couple of days of sleep. Um, but yeah, so we have the first proof. We're doing the update for the second proof, and um, you'll see this on sale in the very near future. Probably as soon as I approve the other proof, like day of, this is going to go on sale. You're going to see. You might get an email from Drive-Thru RPG if you've downloaded it before. You'll likely see advertisements at different forums. I'm going to just do like a general advertisement blitz for it, and the hardbacks are going to start coming out. I'm going to endeavor. I've got all the addresses downloaded from Kickstarter. I'm going to endeavor to send you an email, like a personal email from the Mushroom Press or from Kickstarter, or however it is. It's most likely to get to your inbox at the address you entered in as soon as I mail it out. I have to go through them manually and do the orders as it turns out, so I have to fit it into my schedule. Because you got to go in, you got to enter the physical email address and do the OKs and everything like that. So it might be a little bit as I push all these out the door. Also, apparently I'm not going to be able to charge you guys for shipping. That's just I don't actually have that option. I thought I did. You do if you do an at cost coupon, which I didn't want to do. I wanted to do a one and done transaction, and then do shipping at a later date to make sure I didn't have to pay for shipping, because like I don't think I can. Yeah, see, told you she'd be back at it. Because I didn't know if I'd be able to deal with the shipping costs. I still don't know if I'm gonna be able to deal with the shipping costs, but unfortunately now I got to. So you guys don't really need to do anything aside from just kick back and wait for your books to arrive. So that's good news. Bad news is that I actually put me past the red line for this whole project, which is a little sad because I busted through. I almost got 5,000. I almost got like I definitely got more than twice what I asked for, and I'm still at the point where I'm not really making a lot of scratch off this project. I'll have to actually run the numbers. It's in the Excel spreadsheet somewhere. I'll run the numbers and see if this was overall a loss for me, just as a project, like separating out the sales, because I have made money off the sales of PDFs and things like that in addition to the Kickstarter. So that's been nice. But yeah, we're at the finish line for it now. What's in the future for Lone Wolf Fists and Chan Shang in general? I mean, obviously, All Above Heaven is the next big project. I'm not ready to tackle that quite yet. I would like to see more people playing this and getting more robust feedback on the deeper parts of the system, including most especially those higher tiers of power, which are both first going to be interacted with as bosses, and then eventually players are going to get there. I'd like to see if anyone who runs this game organically actually is enthusiastic to use the domain rules and is able to use them and get them working, because those working is going to tell me a lot about the power scale that works with this kind of game and what doesn't. Stuff like that. It's I don't want to dig into that project. Like, I don't want to go into it half-cocked. I've got a lot of good ideas. David has a lot of setting material for it, but is it structured to the point where I feel like I could like start writing that game? Not yet. I want it to bake a little bit longer, and I would like to spend a little more time in the world of Ashes and Ghosts as well. I feel like this game could use a couple of supplements. I wanted to put like robot martial artists and like werewolf and vampire undead martial artists and things like that in this book. I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is getting bloated, and it is pretty chunky as it stands. But like doing a soft cover supplement for this where you have more character options would only benefit it, maybe doing some location books where like you have more setting to stomp through, more monsters to fight, more vehicles, just more of what we already have given you the general template for would be nice. I just want to spend a little more time in the world of Ashes and Ghosts before we rocket off into the stars. But yeah, so that's I've made some promises with it before. I've been contemplating it. It's like, well, what I really want is I want to have a small but robust game line of kick-ass martial arts games. And so far, it looks like we're growing in that direction, which is nice. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew again. I want to do this a little slower and a little better. Like this is a really solid. I feel like this is a really good first effort. Like the cover looks really good. The overall layout looks good. The quality is really nice. I'm really a fan of this hardback. It looks really good. Um, it's all legible. It has this nice, robust table of contents. I wasn't able to figure out how to do an appendix. I actually don't know. I don't know what method you're supposed to use to do an appendix, and I couldn't find a way to even start that process. So I don't have an appendix, and I'm not even sure what would be in an appendix. So, maybe an appendix next time. Um, but yeah, like it looks professional. It looks good. Uh, there are a couple of weird layout moments. Like there's a lot of like empty space on pages, which feels a little uncomfortable. Um, I don't imagine it would be enormously difficult to change the writing, such as that, like writing it in a different way, knowing how layout works now, change it so that there's not quite so much empty space on these pages. Um, Again, that said, like this one's pretty empty. Like, could probably use some art. Um, but yeah, again, that said, the parts that work look fine. Like this looks a lot like Exalted to me. It's got all the stats. It's got all the stuff you need. It's got some nice art sprinkled in. It's just like a black and white version of Exalted, which I think the original Exalted was black and white. So yeah, it's not a bad start. But I mean, I'm a perfectionist, and I feel like All Above Heaven should be full color. I think it's going to be a more expensive project. Um, I'd like to get this bad boy into some gaming stores and get a little bit of a distribution network going on. So whenever we go to pitch All Above Heaven, we have distributors. And I can pitch it to I can pitch deals to people that carry it or want to carry it. Like, hey, look, you can get 5 copies and GM screens, and it only costs you X. Why not? Um, I'd like to be able to do and this is like business level stuff. I get it, maybe this is super interesting to you guys, but like I want All Above Heaven to be a bigger, prettier uh, project overall, and I want to make it in a time frame that doesn't kill everybody's enthusiasm for it. One of the big problems with Lone Wolf Fist that for the last 2 years I've been dragging it around like an albatross around my neck, and it just needed to be out already. God damn it! Uh, Lesson learned: a slimmer version of this game could have been done faster, and probably at a cheaper cost to me myself. I ultimately didn't pass on too many costs to you guys, which I'm happy about. I finally got the pricing pretty close to right. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I now that I've learned the lessons I've learned, I can do this better, and I want to use that to make the next stuff like cheaper, faster, better. Also, and this is a personal thing, I can finally see the whole game at once if I need to. The different parts are there. Um, and it's no longer in this nebulous state where I'm tinkering with different parts of it. It's done, it's final. So the strength of it being final and all of it being complete and referenceable is that I can look and see and test. Does this feel right? Does this work? Do these things function together? If I have this idea for a power, what's it comparable to in the system? That's enormous in terms of output, because instead of having to go ex nihilo with every idea, I can just I can just look up stuff and cross reference it. I know when I'm diverging from the norm and when I'm rewriting fundamental things, and I have a pretty good idea of what that's going to do. So that's an exciting place to be. Um, of course, I this is me we're talking about, so I'm always like second guessing everything. I've already thought of a system for how the prana works that has nothing to do with increasing or decreasing this ever changing pool of magic go points. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna change it radically to go into all above heaven, or if I'm gonna keep with this the specifics of the system exactly as it stands. I never know. Um, Overall, yeah, future's looking pretty bright. Um, Bullet point, you're getting your hardbacks here in the not too distant future, so that's always nice. That we can finally put that to bed. You guys can run your games, or even if it just sits on your shelf, it's got this lovely eye catching, that looks nice. Um, it's the same shaded yellow as Merkborg. I did it first, god damn it. I had this idea a long time ago. Merkborg stole it from me. How dare they steal something I hadn't released yet? Um, anyway, that's the basic update. Sorry to ramble so much. I'm excited at this point. I'm also just very tired. This was a lot of work. In addition to all the other work that I do, I've been doing this, and so I've been very tired lately. Anyway, um, I guess I don't have anything else to say at this point. I'm pleased we got this far. Turns out the last update wasn't the penultimate update. I might do one more video update, um, just to kind of just to wrap up everything, any loose ends that I've got. I think that we're good though. I think that once you guys get your hardbacks, we can stick a fork in this one and look forward to the next project, whatever that may be. In any event, I'll keep you guys in the loop, and uh, yeah, keep your eyes down the road, especially in the Fistiverse. I'm there all the time. And if you want to get in touch with me, that's a good way. You can also email, go through Kickstarter. There's plenty of different things to do there. But yeah, keep your eyes on the future. There's going to be more Tiansheng stuff of some varieties, and I'm looking forward to making it. Until then, hasta luego, everyone.